Hello everybody and welcome to the third video in our short series of videos on the Indian independence movement. Today we're going to be looking at the legacy of exploitation. So as always we begin with our learning outcomes. So by the end of this presentation you guys should be able to describe facts about the violence along the Indian Pakistani border. Second, you guys should know how Gandhi reacted to this violence and how he was killed. And finally you guys should know 3 successes in India after independence and some of the challenges that to this day are still facing the country. So, as we saw last time, after the British left India, there was a hope that it would stop violence from erupting, but violence actually got worse. The borders between the new states of West Pakistan and East Pakistan and India saw the majority of the violence. So, around 7 million Hindus fled from Pakistan into India, and while 7 million Muslims fled from India into Pakistan. They left on foot, by cars, by carts, on trains, and as they passed each other by attacks and riots took place, causing huge amounts of damage and loss of life. It is estimated that during the violent clashes along the border that over 1 million people were killed, which is a shocking number. So nobody could have foreseen this level of violence. However, there were 2 massively disputed zones along the border of West Pakistan and India where the majority of this violence took place. The first one was the Kashmir region, which we can see here, which had about a 75% population which was Muslim, but it was given to India, and this caused massive tensions due to it being a very lucrative area of the economy. India wanted to hold on to Kashmir even though it had a majority of Muslim population. But the other area that caused a lot of tension was the Punjab. Now, the Punjab was split in 2 between both countries, and this caused massive issues too. In the Punjab, there was also the complication of a large Sikh population. You can see here from the pink colour here, and a lot of the Sikh population wanted to move into India. With the figures so hard to pin down, it's hard to know how many of each religion died, but modern sources tend to say that Muslims suffered more deaths in the clashes than the Hindus and the Sikhs combined. Now, the disputed Kashmir region led to the outbreak of the Indian Pakistani War in 1947, October 1947. Gandhi, who had spent his life trying to gain Indian independence, was horrified by the violence. He had only agreed to give his backing to partition as he feared a civil war would break out. But now, with this violence on the borders and the Indian-Pakistani war over Kashmir region, he sent out a message saying that there needed to be tolerance on both sides. He vowed that he would fast until the killings along the border stopped. And he said that India needed to pay the money it owed to Pakistan, which is about £50 million or 550 million rupees. This had been promised to them before partition. And he also spoke out against the proposed plan to deport all Muslims in India and Pakistan. Gandhi broke his fast when leaders said they would give up the violence. However, on the 20th of January 1948, Gandhi was assassinated by a man called Natanrao Godse, who felt that Gandhi had betrayed the Hindus by being too pro-Muslim and by agreeing to the partition of India. The death of Gandhi, it shook the world. He was a symbol across the world of hope, really. His policies of non-violence, his principled protests captured the imagination of the world. He would go on to influence many people in the future. But it also shook India and Pakistan out of its kind of what it was caught up in. And the violence between Muslims and Hindus did stop for a while after this. However, relations between India and Pakistan have remained tense until this day, with wars breaking out again in 1965 and 1971, and tense clashes taking place in 2008 and 2013. It was also in 1971 that East Pakistan, as it was known, and West Pakistan had a violent war which resulted in East Pakistan earning its independence and taking on the name that we know it as today as Bangladesh. Now, like all new countries that have been oppressed and been born out of violence, India struggled after independence with many issues. They made attempts to improve the legal rights of women by abolishing things like sati. Sati was this custom whereby if a woman's husband died, she was expected to throw herself on the pyre of her husband's funeral and to commit suicide. There are, of course, still massive issues within the country around how women are treated there. There was also been an attempt to break down the caste system, which Nehru abolished. The caste system divided the four main categories of society in India. This led to discrimination against those that are regarded as the lower castes or categories. Um, and it's been difficult to overcome that thing within society. While it has been abolished, it still is within the country. Um, Nehru and his government built many new schools and they introduced free education to try to bring India along. Um, they pushed India to become a more industrialized country by building hydroelectric dams and roads. And India is now the largest exporter of rice in the world, and it also has developed a hugely successful film industry known as Bollywood. However, the biggest issue India is facing is the mass amount of poverty within the country. Cities like Calcutta, Mumbai, and New Delhi have huge amounts of slums and poor, and people living in unbelievable conditions. The country it's still feeling the effects of hundreds of years of exploitation and colonization as it struggles to emerge as the large economic force it should be in the world. It is plagued by poor working standards in many areas, promoted by such socially accepted trends like fast fashion, which denies workers' rights and has had an untold effect on the Indian farming system also. India has made massive leaps forward, um, but also it is a country of massive contrasts and possibly more visible than in many other places when you go to cities like New Delhi, where there's massive amounts of wealth, but also crippling amounts of poverty. So that brings us to the end of our very short discussion on Indian independence movement. So by now you guys should be able to describe facts about the violence along the Indian Pakistani border. You guys should know how Gandhi reacted to this violence and how he was killed. And finally, you guys should know three successes in India after independence and some of the challenges still facing the country. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys got something good from this video.